all the buttons. And
Uh-huh.
because you go live, I think like 2 or 3 times in your group a week, right?
Yeah. So we have 2 live interviews coming up today. One with Brett Watts in our group. We invited him.
Nice.
And then another with just some beauty pro who's doing cool things.
Gotcha. That's so awesome. So we're live now, right? And you and I, it was Jordan, you, me, Alex,
Yes.
who's your ads guy, right?
Yeah.
Brian Millhouse, I think that's his name, and somebody
Yeah.
else. Like we were in like Scottsdale. Like, how did that happen? Right? Like,
So evidently, like Brian saw you just walking on the side of the road and decided we were gonna have a mastermind.
I got a message. I was like, "Is that you?" I was like, "Oh my god, huh? What do you mean? What does that mean?" And it was literally like Brian, like he saw me across the street in Scottsdale, Arizona, of all places.
Like, butt shirt strikes again.
Yes, it did. And then we all met up in an Upwork. Was that like the first time we like got in touch, or you had been following or part of the group, or like how did you find us? You know what I mean?
We had met up with you in Miami at that mixer right before 10X, and you invited us to your office.
Yes.
And so we came to your office and you yelled at us for about an hour and told us everything we were doing wrong. And then when you came to Scottsdale and you had posted that in the group, Jordan's like, "I'm inviting him to our office space."
That's right. You came down for 10X, right?
Yes.
And this was when you guys just had lost it all and you were starting all over again. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we were at about like rock bottom. So we were really struggling with like keeping our like 2 to 3 keystone clients and like just so they got results and just weren't growing past that, like breaking even every month. Can
we start the story off from, I mean, like the bullet points are like you grew from 0 to 30K, lost it all, now you're coming back, right? So what was like your first cohorted experience? Like how did you go from 0 to 30K the first time?
Well, our original business had actually started off as a drop shipping business that like totally tanked, of course.
You were like, a drop shipping bro? Oh my God.
Like that's how we started out. And I was just kind of like taking a backseat on that project, just like along for the ride. And so we started off in drop shipping, like didn't work out. And so me and Jordan were just exploring other opportunities, and we came across like all these different courses online, of course, like Joe Soto's course, Tai Lopez's, Dan Henry's.
Yep.
That was when Dan Henry was like first starting to get big. And so Jordan was like, screw it, like let's go this route. He invested like $15K into one of the courses.
Yep.
Or not $1,500 into one of the courses. And we took it and just went like all in studying, but actually doing nothing for about 4 to 5 months. So we were seniors in college and we were just like doing our schoolwork, coming home, studying this course day in and day out. I'm telling you, like we learned SEO, Google AdWords. I learned how to like code a website. Like we were just studying all this digital marketing stuff with like no clear direction of where we were going to go with it. And then finally in February, we got kind of like fed up and we're like, well, we need a client. Like we need to stop doing this and start looking for clients.
Yep.
So our method was, I was just going to message as many business owners on Facebook with the Curious Student strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan was just going to cold call a bunch of people.
Okay.
And so there were 2 people who took us up on it at first. One was a microblading specialist who was like tattooed eyebrows type thing. And then the other was an auto shop. And so we did free trials for both of them and knocked it out of the park. And so we started kind of scaling in both directions, but the auto shop just happened to be a franchise. So we got really excited about that opportunity.
Yeah.
Decided to like scrape their whole list off the internet. And this is like pre-software. So there's me at like 9 o'clock at night every night, looking up all of their emails and phone numbers and Facebook page links and putting it in a spreadsheet manually. It took me a month to build a list of all their franchises. Launched out a cold email campaign and got through that and talking to their corporate people, 15 clients in that direction.
Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. You did a Curious Student for an auto shop.
Yes.
Your ads worked and then signed on 15 clients. Just okay, just like that. Okay. All right, wait. All right. So
offered everyone the same thing we did them, the Curious Student, like, hey, this worked for so-and-so. We'll give you a 1-week free trial. So we basically just did the setup up front for free. And then within 7 days, signed them on for the $1,500. So we
That's
didn't
so
go
cool.
quickly off results because we still had that confidence of like, we're 21, like no one's going to trust us yet.
Yeah.
So we did it that way, and almost 100% of them always took the $1,500 contract after the trial.
So when you say an auto shop, I'm
Mhm.
imagining it's like 3 dudes and like a car rolls in and then they magic some machinery work and then some customer pays them a bill. But it's not the same, right? Your auto shop was bed liners or something like that, right?
So it's vehicle customization. So it's
Gotcha.
kind of like the Bedliners was the franchise, and so the auto shops were their own entity, but they all
Gotcha.
carried the same product. So they all had other things to upsell, like floor runners and custom mirrors and all types of mumbo jumbo paint jobs, whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of room for upsell and for more opportunity, but we just decided to go after everyone who sold that specific type of bedliner.
Okay, so it was kind of like you have bed liners ready for sale. The franchise is calling and saying, "Hey, we've got this Facebook ad agency that can help sell your bed liners.
Mhm.
Are you interested in having a conversation?" And then
Yes.
the independent shop owner says, "Sure, let's try it." You give them the 1-week free trial, and then people come in trying to buy a bed liner.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the bedliners, the price point for that was always about $300 to $500. So
Yeah.
it only took like 5 yeses in order for them to get an awesome ROI on what we were charging.
And then there's all these upsells along the way. Like, I don't know anything about cars, but I'm assuming if you bought one thing, you're going to buy a lot more, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. And using that strategy, which I think is like how you figured out your power partner process, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
went from one curious student trial. You're still in college at this time, is that correct?
Yes.
And you went from 0 to 15 clients like that.
In about a month and a half. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's like the worst heartache and heart attack moment I've ever imagined. Like, that's awesome, but horrible.
Doubled in revenue during finals week. Like,
How
it
do
was.
you deal with that?
I didn't very well. During that time, I was probably the most organized person in the world because I had no choice. Because I like still had to graduate. Like, I wasn't gonna like throw that away. Like, I still needed to do it.
Yeah.
And I was working a part-time job, and I was doing that. So like my schedule had to be like totally on point to make it happen. But we got through it, and yeah doubled during finals week.
So you're graduating.
Mm-hmm.
You spend $1,500 on drop shipping courses. And you're like, well, that sounds great, except we need a client, which is probably a function of like time to go get a job feeling when you graduate, right? Time to go get a job, time to go get a client. Cool. And you start doing curious students. You don't find a drop shipping client, you find a Facebook ads client. Cool. Mm-hmm. You get 15 clients. You still have a part-time job. You're graduating. You're taking finals. You're trying not to screw it all up. And all of a sudden you went from 0 to $30,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Did your parents say, please get a job? Like what happens when you're telling your parents that?
We're freaking out because my parents are very like security, like you need a job, you need health care, you need this and that. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
Yay!
That was like probably one of the most difficult conversations I've ever had. Mm-hmm. Is like to sit there and like stare my dad in the face. And I'm like, okay, I know you just helped me get this marketing degree and I know you took on half the loans, but I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be an entrepreneur and do it that way and build my own business and blah, blah, blah. But after a year of doing it, they're finally supportive of it, like asking questions about it, wanting feedback, that type of stuff.
Gotcha. And so it worked. Your parents were on board. You're making money and it all goes to hell.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. How did it go? We know it went from 0 to 30. How did it go from 30 to 0?
So this is pre your course.
Uh-huh.
And so we had none of those systems in place to help us when the client came to us and said, bad leads.
Gotcha.
We had nothing in place to kind of protect us and make sure that they were even calling their leads. We had nothing in place to do the sneaky survey. We had none of this. So when they're giving us that feedback, it's kind of like, oh shit, like what do we have to change? Like what's broken? And
you think it's like it's on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just start scrambling. We start changing offers we never should have, testing like chatbots, different landing pages, just like total utter chaos. Like there's no other way to describe it. And it's like when one starts saying it, then it's like just that ripple effect of like they're all like bad leads. Da, da, da. And I'm like, no, they're not bad leads. Like they're good. They were just like booking with you a month ago. How can you say they're bad leads?
Yeah.
And like just chaos started happening, and then just like one after the other, they just started dropping. And then we kind of scaled all the way back to about 10K with them, and the ones we had left over were probably the shittiest people in the whole world. Like I hated working with them every single day because I'd bend over backwards, get on the phone with them at 6, 7 in the morning to adjust to their time zone, and they would bitch and moan and complain. But it's kind of like that bitch and renew thing. But we were committed to like ultimate customer service and talking to them every week. So it was bitch and renew every single week.
Gotcha.
Multiple days a week. So it just like drained everything out of us. So we decided to stop putting the effort into them and just kind of like let the opportunity be a wash and just let it go. And so we still had a couple of our keystone clients. So we had a couple of gyms and then our other beauty pros that we were working with. So like a salon, a microblading specialist, an esthetician. So about like 5 keystone clients that just like hung with us through it.
Yeah.
But since we had scaled to 30K, our overhead had gone up like we were scaling to 30K. So, I mean, we had overhead that was insane and back down to 5 clients. So thankfully we had put a lot back and we weren't stupid with our money.
Yeah.
We made it through it, but it was like, holy crap, like we have nothing left. So
that has got to be like, so there's always fear of success that we incorporate as like you're stuck and you're not really sure. You guys straight up had fear of failure, like, and you felt it and you got it. And so I'm understanding correctly. You had these bed liner ads that were probably working, right?
Yeah, they were working phenomenally.
But you didn't have any ammunition against somebody saying bad leads or bad customers or bad ROI. You were just taking their word as gospel, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you I'll bet you weren't even like doing call recordings or anything like that, right?
No. And I don't know why we didn't think about it, because we had also worked with like a rock chip repair guy and we did call recording for him with Google Ads.
Yeah.
But we never put the 2 and 2 together to like, oh, call record for the Facebook ads. Don't know why. Never thought about it till I met you, and I was like, we are so freaking stupid.
Yes.
Having done this before.
Yeah. And so like I think there's a whole module called Your Clients Will 100% Lie to You.
Yes.
And you 100% felt that, right?
Yes, we felt victim to it, like 100%. Like it will ruin your agency if you don't do those things.
Yep. And so you learned about sneaky surveys, welcome texts, quality assurance tests, like all the things you can do to prove that like these are real life human beings that want to buy you, we have to sell.
Yes.
And either you suck at your job or you just don't remember how great I am, right?
Exactly.
Do you think if you had those types of like tools and processes, you would have still kept on your bedliner clients? Or do you think you just had to get rid of them and it was just like a bad fit?
I think we probably would have kept them on, but just the type of people they were, it probably would have ended up not working out in the long run anyways. Because they were, just to say it bluntly, a bunch of hicks who like to work on trucks. Yep. There's no business mindset there. Yep. And some of them would even in that trial, they would like take their 7 days and then ghost. We had a handful of them that did that just because that's the mentality. Like, oh, I got some money. Like, okay, like I don't want to pay them to do it. I just want to like keep those couple clients that I got. Yep. And so that was really the personality of that industry. So like looking back, we know that moving forward, it probably wouldn't have been a good fit anyways. So it was fine to move forwards. Gotcha. Cool. So you hit awesome. My parents are finally proud of me. I can do it. I'm amazing. Nobody knows how awesome I am, but I have the highest starting salary of anyone in my marketing program. I'm not even using a marketing degree. And then it all goes to hell. And where like on this like rock bottomness did we end up meeting up at, it was like a restaurant in Coral Gables and we were sitting at like what is Ball and Chain or something like that, right? And I was like, oh, you guys, what do you do? And you're like med spas or something, right? Like,
where were you on that like income bracket? Like 35, you were at like 10-ish maybe?
At that point, we were bringing in $5,000 a month.
Which honestly, like for a recent grad is not that bad, but once you've tasted 30, like it really sucks, right?
We tasted 30, and we have a team of 3 people. So it's me, my boyfriend Jordan, and then our third business partner Alex, who handles the ad side of things.
Yeah.
So for 3 people to be doing 5, it was pretty grim.
Gotcha. And then I was like, hey, come on by the office. We start talking about sneaky surveys, welcome text callbacks. I think at this point you had like you had med spas, but you were charging like $500 or $1,000 or something like that, right?
So we had kind of gotten in that space, and through all those conversations, we realized that a bunch of people in this industry, the med spa, beauty services space, they'll put online, I'm a med spa, I am a medical clinic, I am a salon. And then you start talking to them and you're like, this is one woman working out of a closet.
Yep.
No, you're not a salon.
Doesn't really count the way you think there. Yep.
No. So we wound up going and doing all these very unqualified meetings with people who straight up, and we know this, would never be able to afford a $1,500 price point.
Especially month to month to month.
Exactly. Especially every single month. They just wouldn't be able to do it. So our first thought was, okay, we'll go backwards and just cut our price for them. Yep. But then, when they're paying $500, they put $500 worth of effort in. So end of month, even though $500 is a lot to them, they still only put $500 worth of effort in, and they wouldn't be following up with anyone. And we actually have the resources to prove it this time. So our client turnover was then super high without ever being able to upsell them. And so that's the next problem that we fell into.
Gotcha. But now you've discovered a better way, right? And so like, and on the journey, like we're like here, right? And now we're like moving on the way up.
Yeah.
You have determined, or you figured out how to take that same power partner process and apply it to getting med spas. And is it medical spas, salons? What's like the term? It's salons, right?
So med spas, salons, and people who provide beauty services.
Gotcha.
So like Botox, if they do like facials, like whatever, if they're doing a service that's intended to make you look better and enhance your confidence, we can help them.
what I like about the bluntness of that sentence is like everything that's ever been bought or ever sold, it's health, wealth, and happiness. It's one of the 3, right?
Yeah.
And beauty salons, like it's directly health. Like you look better, you feel better, you're probably going to make more money and make more friends. But it's like it's those 3 things. It works out really, really well.
Exactly.
But at this point in your journey, you had to reset everything. You had your core clients. You're charging too little. You're freaking out. You're like the fears of failure and the realities of failure coming back in. You're probably like, well, I guess I'll just like go get a job like a normal person, right?
We were literally at that point contemplating joining Uber, and I kid you not, we were contemplating doing Uber, and like that is like rock bottom. Like when Jordan had that conversation with me, I was like, there's no way in hell that we are sitting here and not making this work enough to where I have to go freaking Uber.
Yep.
No, we're changing something.
Gotcha. So how did you go from, I only have 3 or 4 clients, I'm charging too little, and what was it like going and starting that engine from 0 to 30K a month? And specifically, I want to guide the conversation to like, you're signing clients like in chunks at a time. Like you've got like a power partner process. Like you're finding that bedliner guy or gal, but for med spas, right? So like, can you talk about that and like how that happened, how that works, all that fun stuff?
Absolutely. So we knew that we needed more of a presence in the industry, because these type of people are very big into like groupthink, cult. They want, multiple of their people to have worked with you in order to go do it, even if they are the bigger business. Yep. So we knew we needed to establish some sort of community or base or people who said, hey, I trust these people. They did a really good job for me. So through mutual connections and just networking our asses off in the industry, we started finding a bunch of keystone people who were doing bigger things in the industry. Cool. And what I mean by that is one of them is a salon owner. He's owned 10 multi-million-dollar salons, and he wanted us to help his sons grow their salon. Mm-hmm. But the caveat to it is he actually wants to do business coaching, sales consulting, that type of stuff for salons. And he told us about his vision. So it kind of opened up the door and opened up the conversation. And once we got amazing results for his sons and their salon, then the dialogue was shifted to, well, what if we teamed up and
Oh,
this to other people who may not be getting the results that they want, or who you would be working with, but they can't close their leads because I can teach them how to do it.
right.
So the dialogue was initially, hey, can y'all help me build a funnel to start my coaching stuff? And I'm like, oh, that seems like a lot of work and not very focused. But then once that dialogue shifted,
Yeah.
it's like insane, because he then can keep the clients accountable for following up with their leads, how they're saying it, how they're talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And so that's one less job that we have to do, because he's
Interesting.
taking that on.
How did you find this? I know who you're talking about. I'm trying not to like say his name. How did you
Yeah.
find this? Was this person, this power partner? Was it just like you just network schmoozed and booze, or like Facebook groups, or like in-person events? How did you find this power partner?
So it's crazy, because we actually started harvesting that connection 6 months before anything came to fruition.
Interesting.
Because, like I said, Jordan decided that we really needed to create that community. And so we started the Dream 100 strategy, and just reaching out to anyone of status or anyone that we knew had any type of clout in the industry at all.
Mm-hmm.
So like Modern Salon, Dream 100, big med spas, people who had a bunch of say and a bunch of influence.
Yeah.
And so through that, we found a woman who's creating an app in the industry. And so we were able to then like kind of measle into her connections,
Yeah.
who happens to be this guy. So it was 6 months up until meeting with him. And we were in like email chains back and forth all the time. And finally, 6 months later, about February, we were able to actually meet up, start something with his sons, and then kind of go from there.
Fantastic. So the approach that you had wasn't to like hustle and grind and try to get one person at a time, because you did that before. You know, like the bang for the buck isn't there. It'll work, but it'll burn you out over the course of 3 or 4 days, right?
Yes.
So instead, you're like, who can I solve a problem for, to where when they sneeze, everyone else gets a cold? Like they are so strong and powerful and well known that I just got to do work for this person. They'll tell everybody else. And that's called the Dream 100 process. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So ever since we kind of like lost it all and hit rock bottom, we were always searching and always keeping our eyes open to that one opportunity that could then like multiply. Yeah. So instead of looking for, oh, well, just let me get like a pest control client and this type of client and an insurance guy and this type of guy, we had access to all of that. All it takes is one BNI networking event to get 4 of those clients. But that's not what we wanted. We wanted the opportunity to actually be able to scale in something more easily than just like kind of grinding it out, cold email, like that type of stuff. So we were always looking for that. And so we had met a couple of people who it could be. Mm-hmm. So we had like tested it out with like a personal training thing with like a $500 a month price point. Didn't work.
We talked about that like last Tuesday or something, right? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. And then we tested out with this like action coach franchise, and it was just like total bust. Like we tested out with multiple people who were franchises or had all these connections and could scale, and it just didn't work because they weren't the right fit. Yeah. But we were consistently like giving those people a try, so that at one point we could actually go big in one direction.
So you found the guy or gal that can do it for, right?
We actually found 2.
You found 2? Cool,
yeah,
right?
So one's in like the salon area, and the other is in like the med spa aesthetics area, because they're a little bit different. But yeah.
So somebody like me wouldn't know the difference, but somebody in the industry would, right? Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you do work for him. You do work for his sons. Are you charging for this, or is it like a lower fee, or what was that like?
So we're still charging our regular fee for it. So it's a $1,500 to $1,750 a month contract. Yeah. And the power partner gets a small portion of that in order to actually coach the people and take on that role.
I like that setup. Like, so let's just say it's $1,750. The power partner gets $250. I'm making up numbers, right? Yeah. You get your fee. He gets money, and then the client is better served because this, I don't like the term sneezer, but you know what I mean? But this like person in charge, right? Like they can provide that insight on like, this is what you should be doing, not be doing. And there's somebody else on the live, Jeff Lopez, that's taking this. Like, it's like an external CEO, right? Like, like he's the person in charge. Go listen to him. I'm paying him. He's going to help you. And then all you just do is the ads, right?
Exactly. That way I'm like, they don't even come to me for the problems anymore. Like, oh, I'm not closing people. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Leads are bad. Because we have someone sitting there on our team who's at a higher status, who they look up to, saying, leads aren't bad. You're doing something wrong, and here's how we fix it.
And they'll listen to that person a lot faster than they'll listen to you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Either because you're the Facebook ads guy or gal, you're too young, you're not in the industry, there's no way you can know my problems. Like all the it's obviously incorrect.
Objections and stuff. Yeah.
Correct. I like that a lot. That's really cool. How did you get, so like this person then ended up referring you 15 contracts in 2 weeks? Or was that like the last, because I know you guys like landed 7 deals in like 3 days and like Jordan's like, look at this, right?
Yeah. So between both of them, it's been 20 contracts so far. With one, it's been like 8 to 10. The other one, it's been like 10, 12. So kind of a distribution because we have both of those partners kind of bringing people in our way.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's been roughly 20 contracts so far in the last like 3 weeks. Just sending like their own personal connections.
Oh my God. Like 20 contracts in 3 weeks. But this time, by the way, you know how to not F it up, right? Like you've got Sync Survey, welcome text, call recordings. It's copy and paste ads. You've got an ad guy. You don't have expenses, high expenses. Like, you know what you're doing this time around, right?
Exactly. We're far more knowledgeable going into it this time around because like last time it was almost like an accident.
Yeah.
Like we just kind of like fumbled into 30K a month last time. This time it's intentional and there's far more room for growth and we actually have the systems in place to protect ourselves.
Fantastic.
If they do come back with those things.
So you mentioned something pretty interesting, which is like you've got 2 big referral partners, right? You know that you got to get results because otherwise those referral partners will simply be like, well, see you later, goodbye. And they take it more like offensively because like we're supposed to do stuff together, right?
Yeah.
So how are you writing ads so that you're keeping your reputation and their reputation both intact and getting results? You know what I mean? Like you can't just throw an ad on the wall and say like, I guess we're doing a test. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned on the second bullet point, you're getting 40 appointments every single month for every single client. So like, what do those look like? Right.
So as far as the ads go, I do have like a 3-step process that kind of goes into writing ad to funnel.
Yeah.
So what that starts with is you want to catch them on the why. So when people are scrolling through their feed, you don't want to catch them with the discount first. You don't want to catch them with that type of stuff first, because then that's all you're going to attract.
Yep.
If you start the first line of your ad off with a discount, we've noticed that usually what that attracts is the people who never set their appointment, say it's too much, price shoppers, that type of thing. So we always want to start it off with the why. So it's always a pain point to start the ads. And then we actually introduce them to what is in the appointment in the ad for step 2. Because we do offer a discount, there is an incentive to come in. But usually if they just know the discount without knowing what the appointment is, they don't take the action of following through. So we actually describe the appointment in the ad.
Interesting. So I call it the sick and tired. You call it the why, but it's the same idea, right? Like similar. Sick and tired of blank, blank, and blank, right? Have you always wanted to X, Y, and Z, right? Like it's that type of approach. And what you're saying is the mistake that everybody's making watching this right now is like, yeah, your client does have a discount, but don't lead with the discount because nobody's going to show up. They're going to be prompted to talk about discounts and your client's going to then talk to you about discounts. And it's going to be the wrong scenario altogether.
Exactly. Your discount almost has to be like a little bit lower in your copy so that maybe it doesn't even show up above the fold because you want to catch them on the reason. Yeah.
So what are some of the reasons that people go to med spas? And I guess my sub question is like, did you run custom research for this or you just knew it because you worked in the space for so long?
So we ran customer research for the first couple of clients, but now it's kind of, we have our keystone offers and we just tell them, hey, pick from what's worked so that we're not testing new things.
Nice.
Like the worst thing ever, because then I don't know if you're going to get results. So we have our keystone offers. And so I have keystone copy that matches them with the right points and the right customer research that kind of followed with it.
So you ran customer research in the beginning to create copy that works, right?
Yeah.
And that copy is not discount driven, it's why driven. You're automatically filtering out people who are discount driven. They don't even click on the see more, right?
Exactly.
And the people that are why driven have a higher chance of showing up to appointments, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And when you're going to your clients, you're not saying, so what would you like to put on the internet today? You're saying, pick one of the 3 that already effing work, right?
Yes, exactly. We do that,
Gotcha.
and we give them content to copy, because that's another issue that I've seen is people throw up these boring images or people with awards and all that stuff that has nothing to do with the service or why someone would invest in it. So we actually give them an example of a video and an example of an image, and I'm like, I need these two things as options for your ad, and say go do and match this.
I think it was Chris Trinity and his Med Spa Masterclass that did something like that. Is that where you got the idea?
For that one. Yeah. So that's not me, that's Chris Trinity, but we give them the options and we're like, go do.
Perfect. And so you literally have like a follow this idiot proof video that they have to do, or pictures that they have to take, or something like that. Like you've got a mini site of stuff that they're supposed to take on, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Fantastic. So the first one is the why, right? But the second thing that you mentioned is that something about the appointment, or like, help me understand that.
I describe what's in the appointment in the ad, because it's not enough just to say, oh, I want cryo skin therapy, I want body contouring. Like, what does that look like?
Yep.
They need to know before they ever click the button what they're getting into, because then if they don't, you have drop off on the landing page. And you want them to be very indoctrinated, because that's how you get a high quality lead. So I go ahead and list out every single aspect of the appointment in the ad, so that there's no ambiguity going into it. If there's pain, they know. If there's needles, they know. And that way you don't have leads backtracking saying, oh, I didn't know that this is 36 needles in my face. Bye.
Yep. And then if that happens, by the way, your client hates you, right? Like, these are bad leads, blah, 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 which could have been solved from the copy on the ad. I discovered something similar with my car wash. Like, when I just put on the internet, like, get the deluxe, everybody signed up and nobody showed up, right? And there was always asked questions like, so what's in it? But is it the carpet, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up like actually like buying my client's car wash like 4 times and wrote down everything that they did. And now the car wash ad literally says, for like a limited time for the next 20 people, here's everything that you get for $30. I don't even mention the term deluxe. Nobody knows what the deluxe is, right? And you discover the same exact thing with your client. They will use words that their future customers have no idea. Like, so what's in the vampire facial? I don't know, but I'm not showing up, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I have to explain it in more like layman terms, because a ton of my clients, especially in the med spa space, have a tendency to techno babble. And oh, the ATP and the skin and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, they don't understand it. So we're going to like Russell Brunson this-ish and use the kind of like strategy. So it's kind of like, tell me what that is. And that goes in the copy. Not your ATP, all these. No, none of it.
And they're getting all that language from like the manufacturer pamphlet. You're like, that must be smart. Let me tell all my clients. You're like, no. Do not do that. Right.
Yeah.
So number one is you put the why. The second thing is you tell them what's in the appointment. What's the third thing to creating an ad that gets 40 appointments every single month?
So the third thing falls into the landing page, and that's the who. So before the soap opera sequence that only 30% of people get, I actually want to introduce them to who they're going to be working with on the landing page instead. So on the landing page, I have a full bio, usually a video from my client saying hello, introducing themselves, and everything is very personalized. So instead of business name is inviting you to come join in, it's owner name is inviting you to come and join in. So it's very like one-to-one personal on the landing page itself, and indoctrinates them to who they're going to be working with.
Interesting. So is that, I guess that's part of the mini site, like they have to shoot that video, right? Or is it just text, or what does that look like on the landing page?
It's text and a video we usually require.
Gotcha. So I'm a woman in my mid 30s. I'm going on Facebook. My why is like, would you like to feel happier and healthier and blah, blah, blah. And I look at it and here's everything that you're getting with your vampire facial is a bad example. What's like something else, like microblading or something, or?
Yeah, microblading's a great one.
Microblading, everything that they get obvious and explicit for only X dollars or 20% off, right? Yeah. And then I click on it, and then I'm seeing and I'm talking to the person that would be working on me.
Exactly.
Right? What I like about that, by the way, is that it increases show up rates and comfortability, and the increases the chance of the person coming back, spending more money, being a better client or customer, versus like, I don't know what's going on, I'm feeling uncomfortable. People never leave, right? But they just don't come back, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I know from myself, because I'm a client in this industry. Yeah. I know that if I set an appointment with someone and I have no clue what they look like, I'm not as committed to that appointment if I don't know who they are. I might
So true.
cancel. I might go choose someone else. I might defer it a little bit because I have a little anxiety about that kind of stuff. I don't like to go meet people I don't know. And
Right.
I speak for the majority of society in that. So
Yeah.
I know that I just feel more comfortable setting an appointment when I know what they look like. I've read a little bit about them. I've seen some of their work. So that's why we structure our landing page how we do.
Absolutely fantastic. Have you found that some of your clients like fight you on this process? They're like, no, I want to do this on the Facebook, or like, no, this needs to be a landing page, or no, we have to use my company logo. Are there any clients that like fight you on like a process that already works?
They do, which I bend over to some of it and some not. So if they're wanting to totally restructure something, put info about the product instead of a bio, that type of stuff, that's the stuff where I'm like, no, this needs to be how it is. So go ahead and get me some content for this.
Yeah.
But if it's something stupid like, oh, I want to restructure my bio, I don't like the way it sounds, I'm like, whatever, do it. But you have 24 hours or else I'm pressing play.
I like the way you phrase that. Yeah, that's fine. You have 24 hours and then the campaign goes live, right? Otherwise, it'll just sit there as they keep forgetting. And honestly, like, it's fine. They're just bitching about a thing, right?
Exactly. It's just them not feeling confident in like what's going out and trying to nitpick. But I mean, what we've learned is it doesn't matter if there's a huge typo on the page. It doesn't matter if there's completely incorrect info on a page. As long as the structure is right, people are going to take action on it.
That's fantastic. And so the structure is just the why, what's in the appointment, and making sure the landing page has a indoctrination aspect to it. Is that like the right way to think about it? Yeah, I don't know. But
like the who. So you want to do the why and then the what they're going to get and then the who.
Gotcha. Do you run your ads to like, because when I got started with my Facebook ad agency, there's some course that was like run all your ads to like 30 miles and then you'll always get cheap leads. And like, that's got to be a bad idea. I'm not driving 30 miles, right? Like I run all my ads like probably like 2 to 3 miles and that's it, because I want people to sign up and show up, preferably in the next 24 hours, right? So do you do something similar, or are you advertising like a wide area, or how does that work for you?
We go as narrow as we possibly can, and that's Alex's forte. So what I hear from him, who runs all the ads, is that he usually chooses a 5 to 6 mile radius, and adjusts based on like audience size and stuff from there. So if the audience is like huge at 5 to 6 and it's like a super dense area, he'll condense that. Or if there's not that many people, he'll expand it. But that's usually about the range that he sticks in.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy this is working for you. This is so cool. The next thing in the interview and the next bullet point is your Facebook group. And I bring this up because you mentioned earlier that like you have to establish some level of, me, I'm not a total stranger. I'm not a scam artist. I'm not a fly-by-night. And the easiest way to do that is with a Facebook group that has your future clients in there. Like they're all going to like, oh, what is this? And then they all join in like 10, 20, 30 at a time, right?
Yes.
How did you build your Facebook group from 0 to 2,000 people that are either clients or people could refer you clients? Like, how did that start? How did that happen? Help me understand the whole thing.
So we started off with quite literally just 24 people in the group. And they were mostly just clients or people who were already giving us money or who had given us money in the past. And when we kind of came up with the idea to build a community, we had like tried a couple of things to grow it. Didn't really work. We were sitting back on it. But then we came up with the idea that we really needed a digital product to move ourselves forward. So especially because of all the broke conversations we were having with people, we needed something else to make us money from those conversations, because there wasn't a huge way to vet them, because they were all always going to tell you that they're owners. And there was no qualification process to really put them through, because they would all lie about it. We needed something. And so we decided to launch a digital product, which was a 6-week course specific to the industry. Fine. But we needed people to sell it to. And so we literally just started harvesting as many connections as we could from other local groups. So like local, like Arizona salon professionals, like people like that, but in a not spammy way. So it wasn't let me go message every single person and say, hey, come join my group. We would friend them, post about the group, and it would just kind of organically come in from there, because we didn't want to grow that relationship in a spammy way.
Gotcha.
So as the group started growing, once we hit 200, we decided to launch the product, which took a couple of weeks to get there. And so launched it out, got like almost no sales from the group, but started running ads to it and had the thought, well, what if we actually grow the group on the back end of the ads? So we would run ads to our digital products, similar to how you're doing to your free course right now. And after that, just have a page that invites them, just come join this free community where there's tons of education on marketing for salon and beauty pros.
Yep.
Probably 80% of people took us up on that. And so it has just skyrocketed since then on actually having that on the back end of the ads versus like manual harvesting, trying to grow this group.
Yep. Because now you're paying Facebook, who's got all their data and algorithms and smarter people to go find it for you versus you trying to do it yourself, which always sounds good in the beginning, but it's kind of like when you were in the first phase, when you're like copying and pasting and doing all this in the beginning, you do the same thing, right? Like after a while, you realize there's just like there's a better way, right?
Yeah.
And so
I don't want to do this anymore. Let's find a way to pay for it.
Correct. Yeah. So you started running ads, right? And what was the ad? What was the offer for the ad? What were you doing in exchange for somebody signing up to your group or email or something like that?
So we actually ran a webinar where we kind of followed Russell Brunson's perfect webinar strategy.
Yep.
And had that up and going. And the webinar actually pitched the course, which is a $497 product, $497. And so that was kind of the strategy there. Mm-hmm. And so they're opting into this hour-and-a-half webinar.
Yep.
And then after they register for it, like they register for the different times, basic webinar stuff.
Yep.
And post registration, they get invited to the group.
Gotcha. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're trying to sell your $1,500 a month course, right? Which is great, fine, perfect, and get your results. But some people just either don't have the money or can't do it because they could be a salon owner, but if you're just a one-person business, like you really don't think in terms of marketing budgets. You think of like, I guess I won't pay my rent this month, right? Which is really hard to beat, right? And so your line of thinking is like, all right, instead of having something that takes a lot of my time, effort, energy, what if I had something that took no time, effort, energy? What if it was just like a course, like a textbook that I just sold on the internet for?
Exactly. And teach them how to do it.
And they could just do it themselves. Did you have some people that bought it and they're like, well, this is hard, I'm just going to pay you money anyway? I bet you did, right?
We've had about 10 people so far who did that and jumped right into our $1,500 mark point once they saw like we were knowledgeable. There's other people getting results with this thing. I'm just going to pay them to do it for me. All their campaigns went live about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and they've all gotten insane results.
That's fantastic. That's so effing cool, right? Inside of your course, you mentioned it took about 6 weeks to build out. So you filmed one module at a time. Did you get feedback? Was there like, you invited 6 people? Like, how did you build out your first digital product?
So we launched it out, told everyone about it, invited everyone to the webinar. Like we're posting in groups and all that type of stuff, your normal stuff, to get people on. And we decided that we wanted to have a proof of concept before we put all the time and effort into building it. Yep. We wanted to know that this is something that people would actually purchase into before I spent 6 weeks building a course that nobody wanted. So we decided that once we hit 20 to 30 members, people who actually gave us real life money in exchange for this course, then we were going to build it.
Gotcha. So you showed them the agenda, what they would be doing. Mm-hmm. We just haven't built it yet. You can get in for $497 instead of like having to pay more later on, right?
Exactly. And one of our strategies in getting that first 30 was, we knew we're 22 years old at this point. It's still going to be a difficult sell just with two 21-year-olds like talking to a camera and saying like, hey, I'll teach you how to run Facebook ads, even if it is the perfect webinar.
Yeah.
So we actually brought in 11 connections that we had met through all of this networking.
There we go.
Teach different areas that we probably weren't the best to teach. So we brought in like an Instagram guru, like a bridal stylist educator. We brought in 2 of the power partners that we're currently working with, people who could teach live video, all this different stuff. And that's the point in time, like you can see on our webinar where people are like, oh, bye. Like they love it because we brought in all these people that they know.
Oh, B-U-Y, not B-Y-E.
What?
Are they B-U-Y? Are they buying or are they saying bye?
B-U-Y.
Okay, all right. I was like, wait.
No.
They're saying bye? Okay, all right, cool. All right, go on.
Giving us real life money, especially once they hear these people are coming in and actually helping teaching like different master classes and stuff like that. Because now this is people that they know are in their industry, which like I said, that goes back to that group think that's really big in this industry. So they know these people have had success and that if they're trusting us to come on board and help us teach these things, then we must know what the heck we're talking about.
I think that's like the single best thing that you can do, which is, look, I could be an expert, but you're never going to believe me. I could fight you on it till the end of time, but there's no way you ain't changing your mind. But guess who is an expert that you really, really like and understand? This guy right here.
Exactly.
And you just said, hey, did you want to teach a thing in my course? They were like, sure, let's do it. It probably took too much time, effort, energy the first time, but the fourth or fifth time you figured it out.
Yes.
And I think you guys got to a point, I think this was like the first call that we had, where you could sell tickets to your individual masterclasses, the live, and then the people who bought your course get a ticket for free. That's how you're like additional level of like sales, correct?
Exactly. Yes. So we kind of started down that route, and now we offer multiple digital products even on our website by taking these master classes and these people's individual videos and monetizing that as well. Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. Like when we look at like the way we've been taught or college education, the dean isn't walking around saying, I'm the expert in everything. He's like, no, we got a professor, right? Like that's the same approach. And for me, with my relationship with people like you and people in my course, my students, like I can't be an expert in cold emailing. I haven't done it. It would be illegitimate if I figured it out. I was like, Joel, how about I pay you way too much money, right? So that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what you did. And I think that's totally okay, right?
Exactly. Well, especially when you start getting into that industry, you get all those questions of, well, what's the best payment processor I should be using? Or how do I handle cancellations? And I'm like, hell if I know. So
like,
I'm just going to go find someone who does and bring them in and have them teach you that one unique thing.
Perfect. So you did the first chunk of your course. You brought in the experts. You sold tickets to the live events, but people that bought your course get a free ticket. You've got a group and a community of people. And what's interesting about that is that like now people know it's okay to pay you money. You're not a scam. You're not overnight. Like you've built out a real process and thought, unlike fly by night Facebook ad agencies that just kind of ruin the industry, right?
Exactly. And so we decided to kind of build something a little bit bigger. And one of the extreme benefits of it that I freaking love is the fact that we add our clients into it. Even the clients who weren't in it from the beginning, they don't know we have the digital products. We add them into these groups. And so they see all these people going, Jordan and Katie are awesome. I just booked $2,000 worth of appointments last week. I booked $3,000 worth of appointments this week using what they told me to do. So now the dialogue between us and our clients is not, hey, leads are bad. This sucks. What happens next? It's, hey, I only closed X amount of these leads this week. What do you think I can do to make that better?
Bingo.
And so the dialogue is totally shifting. So we're not dealing with, all that lashback. Like even with our systems in place, aside from that, this community and all these people talking about how awesome we are and they get results is like totally shifting that.
So I really like the comparison between your first go around and your second, right? Like the second go around feels a lot more purposeful. Like you're doing it and you mean to do it, you're getting the result. The first time was like, oh, stuff is happening. Guess I'm along for the ride, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you had experts that could sell truck liners and bed liners and stuff like that, your clients would probably say like, oh, I guess this is working. I don't have to trust you. I can trust the expert, right? If you had a community of people that were saying, Katie and Jordan ran my bed liner ads and I sold an extra $10,000 for the stuff, they would say, oh, maybe the leads aren't bad. Maybe it's me, right? Like the power changes immediately when you're consistently driving proof into people's minds.
And it's different from like me just posting the testimonial my client said. I can send that testimonial all day long and people will come up with all the excuses in the book of it's fake, it da-da-da, or they didn't do this. But when the client themselves is posting the testimonial in front of these other people, then it's far more believable and it's far more noteworthy. So
I think what's important for everybody watching here is that like, yes, you can run testimonials, but you should probably get other people running your testimonials. So like have your clients say you're awesome and send that to your future clients or even your current clients. Like if you've got a list of clients, I don't care if it's 10, 20, 30 emails and you get a referral or so you get a testimonial video, send it out to all of your clients. Yes. I don't care if they already bought from you. It's proof.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And your clients will like it a lot more. Absolutely fantastic. Was there like any closing comments, questions, concerns? Because otherwise we're going to move into Q&A and a strategy session giveaway and stuff like that. So like, is there anything that you want to add to this? Like, I guess this has been a pretty cool interview. I'm looking at the comments. People are like, this is the best interview I've seen in years. So yeah.
Well, I mean, my closing comment would be like, if you're a digital agency and you're not utilizing a power partner or some sort of digital product to offset cost, you should probably add that in. Like if you're at the 10 to 15K per month mark and you haven't like gone to one of those two resources to try and scale yourself or add in extra revenue, then you should probably go do it, because for one, digital product, it allows you to have something for all those broke conversations that we all have. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you are in the pest control industry, you're having broke conversations with Billy Bob, who decided to start a pest control business out of his garage. Like you're always going to have those people. So having something that you can sell to them, even if it's not your done for you, is going to make things 10 times easier and make those conversations not be worth absolutely nothing.
I think you mentioned earlier, and for ladies and gents who are watching, drop your questions in here and then we'll go into Q&A. You mentioned in like the coaching call we had like last week or 2 weeks ago, you give your clients a script, right? Like they immediately get an ROI, right? Does that appear in your digital product too?
Yes, it does.
Here's what I like so much.
Yeah.
They do that. They make money and then they spend it with you on the next tier. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, perfect. Right. And I feel like that's, go on.
Yeah, we had a girl who joined our course at 1 p.m. and by 6 p.m. she had already tripled her money that she spent with us just by using that script. And she was like, oh, well, crap, let me just go do this. Tripled the money that she spent in the course. And we have that as a testimonial now.
Perfect. Right. So send that out to all your clients. Right. Exactly. So the important lesson for everybody watching here is that like you can have a thing that you can sell to somebody who can't afford your real thing. And if that thing makes it okay for them to spend money with you, proves that you're legitimate, and more importantly, gets them an easy ROI-driven win, they're just going to spend the rest of the money with you. And when you look at like Frank Kern's inner circle, he says literally on the letter, like the most important thing I want to do for you right now is make sure you get an ROI from this immediately. He knows they're just going to buy the next year program. That's how that works, right? Yeah. And it costs you no money to send that script as part of your program, your digital product. And it helps make them money, so then they spend money with you later on, which is really darn cool.
Precise.
We've got a question from Kevin Heinz, mispronounced that. What's your opinion on the why and the what and the who for a gym? Is that substantially different from a, like, because med spas are like, or massage spas or medical spas or whatever, salons are like, they're in health, right? Yeah. Gyms are in health. Are the who, what, whys totally different? Or are they kind of same? How does that work?
They are 100% still the same. So we actually still work with 3 gyms right now. Those are 3 of our current clients, and I use the exact same structure for them. So when we start off the ad, if you just started off with like, hey, come in for free, you're going to get a bunch of people who want to come in for free. Yep. If you started off with like, let's kick those 2019 body goals off right, let's do this, that, and the other, and you just follow that structure, let them know what they're going to get when they're in the gym. You get access to like a full-size Olympic training pool, all, you know, the dumbbells and weights and whatever you want to do. If you break it down like that and then tell them kind of the who that's in the gym, family owned, owned for like 20 years. We have this, that, and the other, that type of stuff. It's going to go a lot further than just, oh, free pass, come claim.
Isn't it funny? Like how far we've come from like, just put an ad on the internet. You realize like all the other levels of like stuff you got to do to get a client results and keep them, which for some reason, like isn't in the course, like the first course that we all took, like, how is this not in there?
Exactly. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but the first course that we took was like Dan Henry's.
Me too.
And it's a curious student, like, okay, just do an ad, 20% off, see what happens.
Money shoots out of your butt and you're going to be a millionaire. Nope.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, that may work for like 2 days, but when you start getting the feedback about the type of leads that are coming in, that's when you're kind of like up shit's creek.
Yep. Very, very cool. I do want to say, Katie, you've agreed to 3 15-minute strategy sessions, right?
Yes.
So ladies and gents, if you've had a great time with Katie, who's pulling back the curtain on 0 to 30 and then 0 to 30 again, and if you want to have a real conversation with her about ads at work, how to get power partners, how to prove your leads are legit, get 40 appointments, build a Facebook group, all the fun things that you've always wanted to do, just hashtag KatieMyFace. I'll pick 3 people. You guys will have a group or one-on-one call. I'll introduce you over the weekend and you guys can figure out a time. So if that's up your alley, just hashtag KatieMyFace and I'll make the intros and make sure you're taken care of. This has been... Say what?
Hashtag it.
Hashtag it. There you go. I haven't seen that. I learned that from Andrew Cruz. He was always like, do that. I was like, I've never done that ever at all. I think what's really cool, by the way, is that you guys knew that you needed help, right? Like you knew that you had blind spots. You knew you didn't want to make the same mistakes. So you joined the inner circle and it's been up and up ever since. we made sure that your systems and your next steps is like sneaky surveys, welcome text, all that was making sure you could prove your leads are legit, that you could have a powerful conversation, that you could find referral partners, and then use the inner circle to find people to help you along your journey, like Joshua Alger, Brett Watts, Nick Coram, Jeff Lopez, David Murillo, and like they're all like we're in the same group chat, kind of, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like you don't have to think like in the inner circle, like, oh, they're doing the same thing that I'm doing, so I need to come over here and like do my own thing. Like, no, power partners exist even in the inner circle. Like we wouldn't be where we're at right now without Jeff Lopez having like a 1 hour call with me and kind of like breaking down what he's doing, giving us a little bit of advice. And he's even letting me use 2 of his people to outsource to. And being able to kind of like split and us both pay them and it'd be super awesome. So like the connections that you make in this group are freaking insane. I've got Brett Watts doing an interview in my group to my people this afternoon. Some people might say that's stupid as hell to let someone who's potentially competition talk in front of my people. But at the end of the day, if he gives a tip that makes them more money in my group, I don't care if he gets a client out of it. I could not care less because you're helping everyone else in the long term. And that's just going to make them give me more money.
And that's the right way of thinking about it, which is pretty darn cool. And honestly, like there's a $17 trillion market in the United States alone. I'm pretty sure like if we team up, we're going to be better off. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely fantastic. Katie, it's been absolutely great. Jordan's coming on next week to explain his side of your business. And great work, great job. You guys are you're at 30K this month. You signed 7 clients in the past 2 weeks. 60K before the end of the year?
We are having a goal of 100K by December. So.
100K before the end of the year. Well, that means, look, if that happens, you'll be the 4th person in the inner circle to break 100K a month.
Let's do it.
That'll be so cool. We're going to bring this to a close. Katie, don't hang up. We're going to debrief. We're just going to end the broadcast. So we just have to awkwardly wave to the screen and say, all right, see you guys later.